Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone. My name is SITI NABILA and I'm here with my group mates Nur IZHANI, binti Ahmad FAIRUS, ALYA binti SHUHYMEE, Nur QAISARA IMAN and Nur ALYA HUSNA. And today we will do our research proposals presentation on our study on how social media affects self-esteem among the students in KPMSI. Okay, next slide. So we will start with chapter 1 with introduction. So this study explores how social media affects the self-esteem of the student at KPMSI, where it focuses on the role of social comparison, validation, and also appearance-based content, while it also considered gender and emotional resilience. And the goal is to understand the key factors and promote the healthier social media habits.
Moving on with the background, nowadays social media is part of almost everyone's daily life, especially for young adults like us. We use platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat all the time to post, scroll, or just stay connected. According to Sprout Social in 2024, young adults between 18 and 29 are the most active users, with 93% on YouTube and 76% on Instagram. But social media isn't just fun and entertainment, it also shapes how we think about ourselves and compare our lives to the others. A study by Olivero in 2022 found that the more time young people spend on Instagram, the more likely they are to feel insecure, especially about their body image. So self-esteem, which is how much we value ourselves, become really important. It affects our confidence, motivation, and mental health. This is why our study wants to explore how social media may be influencing our self-esteem, both in good and bad ways.
So for our problem statement for this research is the social media is a constant presence in young adults' life, including DC students at KPMSI. While it offers convenience and connection, it also poses risks to mental well-being. Social media promotes unrealistic beauty standards through filters, editing, and idealized posts. This often leads to negative self-comparison and lower self-esteem that affects how students perceive their appearance, behavior, and worth. So this study aims to explore how social media impacts the self-esteem of DC students and to raise awareness of its potential harm.
Okay, moving on to the research objectives. This study investigates the impact of social media on the self-esteem of Diploma in English Communication DEC students at College Professional Marasri Iskandar. It focuses on three main objectives, which are to explore the reasons behind the decline in students' self-esteem due to social media, to identify how social media's beauty standards influence them, and lastly, to uncover the consequences of their social media usage. Moving on to the next presenter.
Moving on to our research question, where our research question is related to the research objective, and therefore this study is guided by the following research question, which is how does social media usage affect the self-esteem of these students, and to what extent do social media beauty standards influence the self-perception and self-esteem of these students, and lastly, what are the psychological and social consequences of frequent social media use among these students? Next.
Moving on to the significance of study. So there are four main reasons why we conduct this study. First is to address rising concern about the impact of social media on the EC students' self-esteem. Second is to highlight how dependency on social media exposes students to idealistic lifestyle and also unrealistic beauty standards. Third is to aim to raise awareness of the psychological effects of excessive social media use, and lastly, to encourage healthier online behavior and digital well-being among young adults. Moving on to chapter 2.
For chapter 2, Social media is a major part of university students' daily lives, and constant exposure to idealized images and lifestyle often lowers self-esteem and encourages harmful self-comparisons. Influencer culture and the use of filters and editing tools make these effects worse. In response, institutions provide digital literacy programs and counseling services, while parents play a key role in offering emotional supports. Non-profit organizations also work to promote resilience and a positive self-image among young people, highlighting the need to address social media's impact on mental health and academic performance. Next.
Moving
Moving on, let's take a look at the overview of social media and self-esteem. So social media platform help users connect and express themselves, but often promote unrealistic standards that lead to unhealthy comparisons, where self-esteem is how people view their worth and is influenced by life experience, support, and online exposure. And usually, teenagers and young adults are highly affected by social comparison and the pressure for online validation, which can lower self-esteem. This is because spending too much time on social media is linked to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and also body image concerns. So, university students and are especially vulnerable due to academic pressure, identity development, and constant online presence. So, studying this group can help in designing better mental health support and promoting healthy online habits. Passing to the next presenter.
Moving on with the impact, social media can really affect how young adults think and feel about themselves. Most of the time, we only see the best parts of people's life, which can lead to self-comparison. On the positive side, self-esteem helps young adults feel confident and motivated. The article is High Self-Esteem Beneficial, explains that people with strong self-esteem often have better mental health. Another article with using social media benefits or harm users' self-esteem, says social media can be helpful when used to connect with close friends. For the negative, sorry, but there's also a downside, which is how using social media affects teenagers. Explain that too much time online can lower self-esteem and reduce the real-life interaction. The influence of Instagram usage on self-esteem shows that just scrolling can cause negative thoughts or insecurity. That's why it's important to understand how social media might be shaping our self-image. Next.
Okay, I'm going to talk about how social media affects self-esteem across gender. I will start with beauty standard. This section explains how social media affects how DEC students at college professional Mara Iskandar feel about their bodies. Seeing ideal image like slim bodies, flawless skin, or muscle shapes online can create unrealistic beauty standards. This can lead to body shame, body dissatisfaction, low self-esteem, or even unhealthy habits. Some students may also use social media more to compare themselves with others, which can make the problem worse. Next, the second one is emotional responses to online feedback. This part talks about how these students feel when they get likes, comments, or criticism on social media. Good feedback like compliments or shares can make them feel more confident, while negative feedback like low likes or mean comments can make them feel sad, anxious, or insecure. Boys and girls may react differently, and some are more sensitive to online validation than others. These emotional reactions can affect their self-esteem and mental health.
Moving on for 2.4, which is psychological responses and coping strategies. Social media use can impact emotional well-being, leading to anxiety, stress, or loneliness. This section highlights the common psychological effect on how students cope with them and the support available through peers and institutions. For 2.4.1, common psychological responses. First, anxiety is a common emotional reaction due to the pressure of getting likes, comments, and social validation. Stress and insecurity results from the pressure of maintaining a favorable online image. Aside from that, depression also occurs through social comparison, cognitive overload, and emotional fatigue. And lastly, loneliness also often reported, especially when users feel excluded from online social events. Next is the coping mechanism. There are four coping mechanisms suggested, which is first digital detox, which is taking intentional breaks from social media to reduce mental strain. Second, content filtering, which is to unfollowing toxic accounts and start following wellness promoting ones. Next is emotion focused strategies, which is try to practice journaling, practicing mindfulness, and also talking to trusted individuals. There are also negative coping mechanism, which is maladaptive coping, which is include emotional suppression, excessive screen times, and also social withdrawal, which all of these often worsen mental health and lead to emotional exhaustion. And next is institutional and peer support. So, educational institutions offer counseling services, mental health hotlines, and digital wellness campaign, which aim to educate students and provide professional help. Peer support networks provide validation, empathy, and shared experience. As it stated in articles chosen, strong peer supports lead to higher resilience and also emotional intelligence. And combined efforts from institutions, professionals, and peers, it can help to prevent and manage social media related distress. So, moving on to chapter 3, methodology introduction. In this section, it tells about outlines the research process used to study the impact of social media on DEC students' self-esteem at KPMSI. It covers research design, site, population, sampling, instruments, data collection, and also research ethics. In this study, we use quantitative research design to collect measurable and statistical data. And lastly, data was gathered using structured questionnaires.
So for our research design, we use quantitative data which requires percentage or scores for analysis. The data will be collected via structured Google form questionnaires which focuses on frequency of social media use, impacts on academic and social life, and also closed-ended questions converted into numerical values. And this data will be analyzed for patterns and relationship using charts or graphs. This is we uses quantitative data to aim to understand how social media affects DEC student self-esteem. These findings can support awareness campaigns and also mental health initiatives. Next. So for our research site, we decided to use Google Forms that used to collect data through online questionnaires, and it also allows anonymous responses for honest feedback. It also automatically organizes data for easy analysis. These questionnaires will be shared via email and social media. It can efficiently reaches DEC students for data collections. Next.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the population and sample. In this study, we focused on students from Diploma in English Communication, which is the EC program, at College Professional Mara Sri Iskandar. We chose them because their course involves media, communication, and public speaking, which makes them more aware of how social media affects their self-image and confidence. Since they often present themselves online and in front of others, they may feel pressure to always look confident and presentable, which can affect their self-esteem. We use surveys and interviews to collect data from 120 students, with 20 students from each semester, semester 1 to 6. This helped us get different opinions and deeper insights into how social media affects their self-esteem.
Okay, moving on with the instrument. For this study, we use an online questionnaire made with Google Forms We chose this method because it's simple, easy to access and convenient for students to answer anytime and anywhere. Our target group was students from the Diploma in English Communication program at College Professional Mara. The questionnaire focused on two main parts: emotional impact and coping strategies. Some sample statements we use include: positive feedback on social media makes me feel more confident. I feel more confident offline than on social media. I take breaks from social media when I feel overwhelmed. We use a Likert scale to collect responses where students choose how strongly they agree or disagree with each statement. This helps us measure their feelings clearly and compare the answers later. Okay, next is data collection procedure. For data collection, we share the Google form through WhatsApp class groups to reach all the ACE students at KPMSI. We gave students 1 week to answer the questionnaire so they could do it in their own time and their own pace. Since the form was online, it was easier for everyone to participate, even those with busy schedule or limited internet access. After collecting the responses, we use Google Forms with built-in tools to review the results such as the charts and summaries. This helps us to spot patterns and understand how students really feel about social media and the self-esteem. We only used one method, which was the questionnaire, but it was enough to collect the data we needed for our studies.
And lastly, we will take a look at the research ethic of this research proposal. So, according to Muhammad Yusuf 2022, participants will receive clear information about the study and give informed consent before taking part. And this participation is voluntary and they can withdraw at any time without consequences. And according to Canadian Tri-Council 2022, personal details like names, courses, and age will be kept confidential and used only for research purposes only. And the data that gathered will be securely stored and only analyzed as group results and not individually. So, according to Simon's 2023, ethical approval will be obtained before data collection, and by that, all questions will be respectful, and participants may skip any question that they find uncomfortable. And for that,
That's it.
and by that, that is only our presentation for this research proposal. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.